Okay, hello, hello, hello. Happy Monday. Hope you guys, your week is started off in a good way. Okay, so today I'm talking about how to create a budget. And this is going to be geared more towards businesses, but it's the same philosophy and the same process for creating a personal budget as well. Um, so I do this with my clients, and the whole point is that it's really easy to say, oh, I'd like to spend $100 each month on clothing or $200 on groceries. But if you aren't tracking how much you are spending, then you will be shocked to find that there's usually a wide discrepancy between what your goal is and what you're actually spending. And so, in order to have a successful budget and in order to spend your money intentionally and wisely, you need to first start tracking how you're currently spending your money and how much of it on average you're spending on each category each month. So the first step in order to do this is to set up either an accounting system or to use your bank's. Most banks and credit unions have a tool where it categorizes your spending for you, and you can have budget goals in there as well. You can even like set up text alerts where maybe you have a set limit, spending limit on just clothing or groceries. And so you can have text alerts sent to you when you've surpassed that limit. So you need to have some kind of system set up to begin with in order to track your spending. And if you do have a business, I recommend that you separate your personal spending from business spending, meaning you need to have separate bank accounts for each. And you need to make sure that you're spending when you do write a check or when you do use a debit card or credit card, that you are using the appropriate debit card or credit card that's associated with your business account for business items. And then you're using your personal account for personal items. So just be very diligent in when you do go to write checks or to use your cards, make sure that you're using the right one based on the transaction. So for your business, just at a high level, the things that you can run through your business that are tax deductible are going to be fuel, as long as it's travel for your business, meals for yourself, as long as you're on business trips, meals for your employees, meals for your clients, and then obviously like your website, your subscriptions, your email campaign, different tools that you're using for organization like Asana or Trello, any advertising that you're doing, the things where I get questions on that are not tax deductible are your gym membership, your nanny, your someone who cleans your house. So if your office is in your home, you can choose between whether you want to just allocate, you can either do like a square footage tax deduction. How much square footage is your office, and what is that divided by the total square footage of your home? You can either go that way, or you can do add up all of your utilities, your mortgage interest, your internet, and then apply a percentage to the office space. It kind of depends on the square footage and which one's going to be higher. So, and then you also have two options with fuel expense too. So work with your accountant on that. But in general, just make sure that it's for the business. As long as it's for the business, then you can run it through and it's still tax deductible. So you'll want to make sure that you're tracking those expenses so that you can deduct those from your annual tax return. So separate your business spending from personal spending, set up an accounting system or start to use your bank's tool. And then you just need to start going in and categorizing your transactions. So this table that I have below these are different accounting systems that you can use. Wave is free. QuickBooks you can do. This is the QuickBooks. I think it's called for self-employed. That's $7. FreshBooks is a similar price. HoneyBook is a popular option in the online business world. And the value of HoneyBook is that you're supposed to be able to send invoices and manage work and do other things through that. But if you have a website, you can still send invoices through Wave and through QuickBooks. So those are the two options that I recommend. The only downside with Wave is that if you go to add another bank account, or if you accidentally sync your bank account, it pulls in all of your past transactions, whether you categorize them or not. And so you have to recategorize them. And then the other thing I don't really like about Wave is that you can't separate your personal financial statements from your business, whereas you can do that in QuickBooks. So those would be the two that I would recommend. And then again, like I said, if your bank already offers something like this, then you may not even need an accounting system per se. So start tracking those transactions monthly. So you will literally go into your bank or into your accounting system, and for every transaction you will categorize. Is this groceries? Is it advertising? Is it paying independent contractors? What is it? And then the good thing is with all tools, once you've set that up, it memorizes it. And so it will automatically categorize that going forward. So you have less work to do. But I recommend doing this monthly because it's not too often that it's burdensome, but it helps with your year end so much so that you're not going through trying to do 12 months all at once in order to rush a P&L to your accountant. So the whole point of categorizing your transactions and with filing a tax return is you need to get a P&L, which a P&L is a profit and loss, otherwise known as an income statement. So every business has this, and will need a profit and loss statement in order to file their tax returns. So if you're not categorizing your transactions, you're not able to pull up a report like what I'm showing here. So this is where, with the expenses, this is where everything that you've categorized, your system is tracking that so that it can pull together a summary or this financial statement. So your profit and loss statement is pretty self-explanatory, but it's your income and your expenses. The profit and loss statement is not going to show, it's going to show before tax and depreciation. So, I mean, technically this is going to be gross income, but yeah, that should be sufficient in order to send to your accountant. So this is what you want to get to, regardless of whether you're doing this for your business or for yourself. And within QuickBooks and Wave, it's pretty simple. You just go to reporting, and then it's profit and loss, and you pull it up. And then what I recommend doing is you want to show year to date or as many months as you can, but you'll need to say on the report that you want to show the months so that you can show January, February, March, and so on forth. That way then you have, you can see month to month what has been going on in your business. Okay, so the third part to this then is once you have exported that file, I recommend to Excel. So you're going to export your profit and loss statement to Excel. And then what I recommend doing is within that file, say you exported it, and this is what you're going to have. You're going to have January, February, March. You're going to have your categories over here, so your income and your expenses. And then what I recommend doing in order to get it to a budget is you add on the rest of the months for the rest of the year. So this was done in March. And so if you were doing it now, you probably have May month end, but you haven't completed June. So June on through December is going to be forecasted. So a budget is literally you're setting your spending limits. A forecast then is it's not actual data, but based on our history here of January through March, we can kind of predict what is going to happen for the rest of the year. So I'm going to focus on the budget here. And essentially what I like to do is I like to jump to either, you could look back at 2019. Here we go. I have 2019 over here. So I have these columns hidden, but all it is January through December of 2019. And then what I did was I took an average of January through December for every single category, and then I set my budget for that. So for example, for advertising in 2019, we spent an average of $789 on advertising each month. So therefore, I'm gonna set my budget or my spending limit at that amount. And then the magic of having this all together in one file is that you can see, okay, for January, if I compare 193 to 789, we were under our budget for January. So that looks pretty good. But here you can kind of see as you're following along with each month, what I like to do is then for April and May, since we've closed out those months and we have actual data, I will go back, categorize the transactions, export the profit and loss, and then I will replace these forecasted numbers with the actual numbers. So I can see, you can either do a comparison of, okay, we forecasted to have $10,000 in income in April. Did we hit that? Yes or no? What did our spending look like? Were we over or under what we forecasted or budgeted? And then you can also just follow along with each month to see like how things are trending, like whether things are getting a little out of hand. Another key part of a budget is you want to set your spending percentages. So you want to see where are you spending the most money in your business. So for a lot of businesses, that's going to be labor, independent contractors or employees. So 46% for this business was the largest spending item. And then the next highest was both advertising and meals and entertainment. So then the next question to ask yourself is, which of these things do I have control over? Well, you don't really have a lot of control over your labor. You have to have labor, but maybe you could cut down on meals, or maybe you could cut down on, do you have like subscriptions that you're not even using? Have you subscribed to different online newsletters or magazines, or like Trello or Asana, or even your accounting system? I find a lot of people like upgrade or have the highest level of QuickBooks, but they're not even using all those features. And so if you're not using the payroll, then why pay for it? So continue to look at your website, your accounting system, just all of your systems and your subscriptions to see like, can we downgrade? And I like to go back and forth. So for my website, I use Squarespace, and I don't always need they charge you if you want to have like a subscription payment option, and I don't always need that year round. So I will upgrade and downgrade back and forth throughout the year, depending on what services I'm launching or which services I'm providing. So those would be my tips. If you want more, if you enjoyed this and you kind of feel like you'd like to get a handle on your finances within your business, I know that these are challenging times, but there continues to be a lot of data that shows that now is a good time to start your business. And I hope that you were either able to get the PPP, or you were able to get some kind of grants or lending in the meantime, just to make ends meet. But I think that now is a good time to set a good financial foundation for your business. So you've kind of seen the worst case scenario of, we had an economic recession looming for the past year. We had a lot of economic indicators showing even last year that we were about to enter a recession. They're saying that this recession is not going to end until, at least it's going to continue through the end of the year. So we're not going to see this bounce back in our economy right away. And so that's just a part of being in business. That's just a part of the markets, right? It's going to continue to go up and down. And so you need to build a business that is able to withstand fluctuations in your revenue, so that if another pandemic or you know, when another recession comes along, you have enough cash saved up to pay your people and to continue to operate throughout that time period. And it's just the clients that I have who, you know, we've already done this forecast. We know exactly like where we need to cut and how we can pivot quickly. We have a plan for the future. And so then when something does change in the market, which it will, we're able to pivot quickly and say like, okay, this is what we need to cut. This is where, you know, things that we cannot cut, absolutely cannot. And we've already done all that work. So if you would like to do that, then I'm offering a course. We're going to launch in July. And so it's just to establish a financial foundation so that you can kind of get things cleaned up and be in a good place, ready to go for next year and then for the years to come. But through this course, what we're going to be looking at is, again, we're going to dive deep into which expenses can you run through your business where it will minimize your tax bill. But if you happen to get audited by the IRS, you're not going to get a slap on the wrist or anything or have to back pay your taxes. Like they are legitimate business expenses that you can run through. How to set a revenue goal that is realistic and that you can achieve so that you can plan ahead. What to set your prices at. So there's a lot of psychology that goes into this. And then also, I feel like a lot of people starting out, they just look at whatever their competitors are charging. Well, that's not the right way to do it. What you should be looking at is what your revenue goal is, what your lifestyle is like, what you need to get by. And you should be setting your prices based on that. We're going to look at how to increase your profit margins. So your profit margins, the difference between your revenue and your expenses. So to increase your profit margins, there are various ways that you can do that. But essentially what it means is it's your take home pay. So what is the cash that you're going to have left over? We want to maximize that. And then we're going to be walking through how to create this budget and then how to utilize it and interpret it to make important decisions so that you can be the CEO in your business and run your business like a well-oiled machine. So this is perfect for you if you've already established your business and you just want to make small improvements and get a better handle on your finances. So you can find us on my website, jeanniestahl.com. It's under shop, and I'll link to it here as well. But right now it's just the wait list, and then we're going to launch in July. So let me know if you have any questions about that. But otherwise, I hope this training was helpful, and I'll talk to you all next Monday. See ya.